happy to have you joining us. And at the top of this hour, we are very excited to be sharing this eclipse with ABC News viewers and senior meteorologist Rob Marciano from ABC, who is in Chile right now at an eclipse viewing party. And he'll be sharing with us how it's going, how's the weather, what are they seeing. We'll get to be at the party with Rob for joining. You're watching on Slooh.com, we have a live chat box where you can talk to us and one another. We'll be pulling in some questions at the end of the show. You can also use our Star Share camera button to take images from all of our live feeds from our partner observatories today in Chile. We're highlighting very special friends in Chile, the PUC, the Catholic University of Chile. We have OBS Tech hosting. We have our friends at Cerro Tolelo, and we are so grateful for all of you for sharing your feeds with us today. We are now going to go over to ABC, where we have Rob Marciano for a live report from Chile.
Hello, Paige. Great to be with you live from Chile, the Elqui Valley, just up the road from La Serena, and we've got sunshine. Thankfully, we've got blue sky, thankfully, and we're getting, I don't want to say we're halfway through, but the midway point of the sun is now being touched by the edge of the moon. So excitement is growing around me. This is a viewing party, one of hundreds of them across this country today. You can see astronomer fans around me set up with their cameras, with their telescopes. This is actually part of a Sky and Telescope magazine viewing party, so we've got some experts that we're going to tap into as well. Of course, this is on the heels of the 2017 Great American Eclipse, where so many Americans saw a total solar eclipse for the first time and got hooked. And a lot of those Americans traveled all the way down here to see this one, because the number one question everyone asks after they see their first solar eclipse is, well, when's the next one? Well, this is it. There'll be another one next year down here if you want to make the trip. There'll be another one after that in Antarctica if you can swing that one. Sky and Telescope will tell you how you can do it. Get on a plane, and there'll be one in the U.S. in 2024 that will start in Texas and go over towards western New York. This thing has progressed thousands of miles across the Pacific. It'll be total here in roughly a half an hour, and you'll be seeing that live. I mean, this is rare for sure. The shadow of the moon is going to race up this valley. By the way, let's, Scott, if we could just kind of scoot around and show folks the landscape here a little bit. Those are walnut trees. This is a beautiful valley here in a desert location. It's very much like, feels like Palm Springs to me, like the San Jacinto Mountains around. It's very dry, arid mountains, and the wind can get cooking up here, but today it hasn't been so bad. And the marine layer, which is very typical in winter, which is right now, thankfully is held to the coastline. It doesn't always very often get up here, so thankfully it hasn't done that. So weather has been good. As you probably have mentioned, this happens about one every 18 months. So the last one was in 2017, and here we are. So much more rare than a lunar eclipse, and it just boggles my mind that the moon at its size has to be the perfect amount of mileage away from us to cover that disk of the sun, and we just got dumb luck and get these incredible solar eclipses. Should we talk to Kelly? Kelly Beatty. He's a senior editor of Sky and Telescope magazine. What's happening, man? How's it looking in that telescope of yours?
It's looking great. You know, the moon's shadow is racing across the Pacific Ocean now, racing toward us at about a mile per second. Boggles the mind.
It does. It does.
So you mentioned, you know, how you have to be in the right place at the right time. This eclipse will cover from end to end maybe 10,000 miles, but only 1/100% of Earth's surface.
That's crazy.
And we are standing in that 100%.
Well, it took some work for all of us to get here, to be fair.
Yeah, it did. So we're our group is set up here. We've come from all over. We have a couple from New Zealand and Canada and so forth. They are eclipse junkies.
Yeah.
You know, we once you've had a few, it's like you know, going to having your favorite drink. You want to have that favorite drink in as many bars as possible.
And you've seen over a dozen of these things.
I have. In fact, I've seen 2 or 3 of them here from South America. I've seen them from planes. I've seen them from cruise ships. It's been quite a career. I'm very, very lucky.
And this is special for South America and Chile especially. I mean, this is kind of a mecca for astronomers like you.
It totally is, both amateur and professional. So last night, for example, we went to a local tourist observatory. It's an amateur astronomer who has bought some really nice telescopes, and he brings people in, not for free, but shows them the amazing sights in the southern sky. So people in the United States are used to seeing the Big Dipper, but they can't see the Southern Cross, for example. Down here, it's just the opposite. They see the Southern Cross every night, all night, and can never see the Big Dipper. But there's so many beautiful things in the sky. And then professionally, we are in the path of, and you can see it on the mountaintop over there, professional observatories like Cerro Tololo and Gemini. And those telescopes are in the path of the eclipse too. So there are scientists up there right now waiting to take data that they hope will unlock some secrets of the sun.
And we have a full-on PhD hosting this show back in the office. But I want to get your take on, as to what we'll see when we have totality, and what those scientists that are at those observatories, what they're hoping to measure and witness.
Sure. So two rather different questions. For us, first of all, it'll get dark, like twilight. Then the sun's atmosphere will appear. We call it the corona. It's there all the time, but the disk of the sun is so blindingly bright that we can't see it except when the moon covers that disk.
Even with all of our equipment, this is the only time.
This is the only time, even for professionals. Birds will go to roost. The temperature will drop, and the whole area will take this sort of eerie glow around it. And you'll know that the eclipse is total because everybody will be screaming and shouting like crazy.
It is quite an experience. All right, look, we're going to come back to you a little bit later in half an hour for an update, and with your telescope and all your goodness. There he is, Kelly Beatty, who runs, he's a senior editor at Sky and Telescope magazine. So we've got experts here, we've got enthusiasts, we've got the Eclipse junkies here, Paige, myself included, and we're just counting down the minutes for this thing to go total. Back to you.
Keep.
Welcome back. If you are watching that we have ABC News viewers with us. We have senior meteorologist Rob Marciano live from a solar eclipse watching party in Chile in the path of totality. We are very fortunate to have that and very excited to be sharing this with you throughout the rest of the hour. So in just a few minutes, we will have Rob back, but let's take a look at who's watching with us. Let's go to, if you're watching with us at Slooh.com, underneath the video viewer, you see this live questions. And also, are you taking those images? At the very top of the viewer, you'll see the Star Share camera button. Flip through all the observatory feeds, snap your images. You can use those in our first quest ever to launch, our first interactive activity that we're calling Quest. It's going to be about the South American total solar eclipse. So make sure you're taking an image about every 5 minutes if possible. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will be back with Rob Marciano interviewing some of the eclipse watchers there and searching for some eclipse phenomena. We are under a half hour away now from totality. So it's coming up really, really quickly. So make sure you're staying tuned. Let's see if we have any specific shout outs or questions. So here's a fun one from somebody who is watching from her own backyard in South America. Just a little bit ago, when I was speaking with Dr. Mariana Orellana from Argentina, who is also watching live today, she was saying that she might be watching on Slooh.com, especially if they get weathered out there. And so we have found somebody else that's also watching in both. That's amazing. We are currently looking at our partner observatory with OBSTech hosting at the Observatorio El Sauce in Chile. Thank you for sharing this feed with us, OBSTech. We really appreciate it. It's gorgeous. You are watching this. This might look to you like a moon phase, right? Like you see the crescent sun instead of the crescent moon. And that's because the moon is going to eclipse the sun fully. We are in the partial phase still. So we are in the penumbral shadow. So the moon is about 400 times smaller than the sun, but also about 400 times closer to us than the sun is. And so when it happens to move in between the Earth and the sun on the perfect plane, now, if you were listening during Dr. Mariana Oriana's talk, you'll have heard that the moon doesn't orbit around us in an exact plane that the Earth orbits the sun. So it's not every month that we get a total solar eclipse or a total lunar eclipse, but it's once in a while. And so the last one was about 2 years ago in 2017. The next one is about a year and a half away. It's going to grace South America again. Dr. Oriana was telling us she's in 70% totality there, and she'll be in 96% at the one in 2020 in December. And then in North America, we'll see another one again in April of 2024. So we're watching. If you started with us from the very beginning, you'll have just barely seen at that point where the moon was crossing in front of the sun. And now we are watching it. It is probably about halfway there. This is really exciting. So let's see who we're talking to on Slooh.com. We have Alabama, Texas. Let's see, New Orleans, Arizona, Florida, Pittsburgh, Houston, Brussels. Hey, New Jersey. That's my backyard. We also have Dublin, Ireland, Alberta, Canada. Great. And we also have a really fun question. Why does the moon appear to be taking quite a bit, a different bite of the sun in different directions from each observatory? That is a very good question. So every time you set up a feed like this, your orientation can be different based on the way that you're post-processing the images. So the depending on your location and on the angle that you're viewing the sun in, and then depending on the way that you flip it in your post-processing, is how you'll see this look a little bit different. So sometimes if you're watching the Slooh Solar Telescope, you might notice that things flip every once in a while a little bit too. So that's sort of like a location-based way your telescope's facing post-processing recipe there that goes into that. But don't worry, the sun isn't spinning in crazy different directions in all this different time. So let's see. Who else do we have? Ask Paige. A lot of people saying that they were able to see the 2017 and not able to see the one now in South America. Right. I feel you. I was not able to either, but we are watching it together from the comfort of our home. So hopefully you've been able to take some water breaks and get very comfortable. So someone is asking a little bit about why sometimes the telescopes go a little out of focus. And actually, somebody answered this for us on here as well, but I'll read it out loud in case you're curious too. Sometimes telescopes can get very, very hot as a result of pointing at the sun, so they might pull away for a second to cool off. Sometimes we can have some humidity, which can affect the quality of the camera, and so you might see them adjusting due to that. Just received word that we are ready to go back to Rob Marciano, who is live from his viewing party in Chile. He'll be interviewing some eclipse watchers there and searching for some phenomenon. So we will go to a short break and then bring Rob right back in. Watching the 2019 South American Total and meteorologist Rob Marciano for a live report from Chile.
The disk of the moon begins to cover up that sun just about 20 and change minutes away from totality. It's going to be my second total solar eclipse. I'm hooked like so many other Americans. And Volk, and you're from again where?
Los Angeles area.
Have you seen a eclipse yet?
This will be number 5.
Number 5.
Yes.
Okay, just number 5. And what is it about eclipses that make you want to travel so far to see them?
I've always been into amateur astronomy my whole life, so I like astronomy in general, and eclipses just are very beautiful natural. About how affected expected just are very beautiful natural events, very emotional impact, and I always wonder about how affected ancient people that weren't expecting it.
Right?
It's fear,
oh man,
made spiritual or whatever, but it's just a beautiful natural phenomena, and I intend to keep watching them.
It is a spiritual event. Kaylin and Carolyn from Austin.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so you decided to travel all this way, even though Texas is going to be in the path of the 2024.
Exactly.
You're committed.
We are.
What number is this as far as eclipses go?
It's my first.
It is.
It is.
We have a newbie. Oh man, you've seen one before?
I've seen one before. The big one in 2017 is what got us down here.
All right, so you can now wait a minute. This is a special day for you guys, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It's your anniversary.
Yes, it is.
So your wedding anniversary gift there is that you're going to see a solar eclipse.
That's right.
This is going to be a present, an anniversary gift you'll never forget.
I hope so.
Yes, we're so excited to see you. And from Oregon, what's your name, ma'am?
Jean Boer.
Jean Boer. And you must have seen the 2017 eclipse.
Yes, I did.
It went right through Oregon.
Yes, it did.
And you're hooked. Why?
I like to travel, and this
Good
is
excuse.
an interesting event and a good excuse. Sure.
So is this number 2 or
no,
one
this
more?
is actually number 4.
Number 4?
Yes.
What's your favorite so far?
My goodness, I don't know.
They're
I'm
like
hoping-
children, right? You
I'm
can't really-
hoping this will be, but I enjoyed last year because it was in the Painted Hills of Oregon.
Oh,
I was out
beautiful.
near Mitchell. It
Beautiful,
was
beautiful. Oh, and such great landscape when these things happen. So we're all excited, clearly. This one may be a little bit different, I'm told, because we're at a solar minimum. And when we go through totality, we get the corona going. If the sun was going a little bit more strong, we'd see more vibrant corona. We might see, more activity on the poles of the moon. I'm not the expert, but that's what I've read and what I'm told. I'm excited to see it, and that's part of the joy of being an amateur enthusiast of things like this, because it's just incredible to witness. The temperature definitely has dropped. I mean, look, it's wintertime here, and we're getting towards the late afternoon, so just naturally the sun is going to start to lose some of its radiance. But oh yeah, now you're probably seeing it on your computer screens at home. We're almost at a quarter, what looks like in these glasses like a quarter moon. Scott, you going for it, man? You're not going off. Don't do that. Don't look directly into the sun. That's the number one rule. At least not until totality. What an experience this is. This has, it's for the moon to be set up so perfectly, and for its size to cover up the sun like it's going to do today is just an extraordinary treat. How long are you guys here for? Just
10 days.
Oh, 10 days. So that's a real vacation. How about you guys?
A week.
A week. And
10 days.
10 days. All right, good. Well, I'm here for 3. So send me a postcard for the rest of this time. What do you plan on doing? What have you done in the past during totality?
I used to be into imaging. I was very serious into photographing, but this one I'm basically just going to enjoy with binoculars.
It's just tough because you want to take the perfect picture, but what I discovered after the last one is that someone's going to take a better picture than me. So what do you guys plan on doing?
I'm just going to experience it.
Are you? Mm-hmm. I mean, they actually have some chaise lounge chairs out here. Is that what you're going to do?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad, right? Chaise lounge, maybe a little
cocktail.
Anniversary celebratory cocktail.
I'm taking pictures. So,
you are?
We're going to try and enjoy it and get the perfect photo at the same time.
And have you thought about 2024? What's your good deal?
Absolutely. It turns out the center line of totality goes right through our ranch in Central Texas, so we will be ready for it.
Oh, yes, we will. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll send you an invitation.
You make room? Because Trav, I think it's going to be in April, which is
Perfect.
For Texas. I think that's the best spot to be because, you get up towards western New York or even Tennessee, Kentucky, it could weather could get kind of dicey.
Could be.
Not here. You guys getting cold? I'm getting a little chilly. You're all right? All right, so here we go. The 2019 solar eclipse, the Great South American Eclipse. How lucky are the Americas to have not one, not two, not three, well, three really in the last few years. No, it'll be four if we count 24. Anyway, plus Antarctica. I mean, all the action is in the Western Hemisphere right now, and we are so incredibly pumped about it. Oh, I just looked up without putting my glasses on.
Welcome back, and thank you, Rob, for sharing with us. We are so close to totality. If you are watching our live feeds, such as our one from OBSTech Hosting, our partner feed that is set up in Chile right now at the Observatorio El Sauce, we are noticing that the sun is almost becoming fully eclipsed. We're really, really close. We are just, let's see, about 15 minutes from totality. Just 15 minutes. This is very, very exciting. So we actually have someone who told us on Slooh.com that they are putting off food shopping until this is over, and I fully support that. Dinner can wait. This is more important. There's our partner feed, OBSTech Hosting at the Observatorio El Sauce. Thank you for sharing this feed with us, OBSTech. This is gorgeous, and this is what I'm referring to when I mean that we're almost completely in totality. We're starting to lose the sun. The moon is fully eclipsing it. One of the interesting things that we have learned over the years from our cultural correspondent, Helen Avery, is that these phenomena back in ancient times were very alarming. People didn't know exactly what was going on, and these were a sign of a threat. Sometimes events like these were sort of like celestial celebrations, but other times they were very, very scary what was happening. Imagine looking up, walking out your front door right now and seeing this and not knowing what's happening. It could be very terrifying. So it's very interesting to learn about the history of how astronomy was viewed from our ancient ancestors all the way up through today. Remember that you can ask questions to us over on Slooh.com at the chat box under the video viewer. You can also go above the video viewer and snap images with our StarShare camera, and you should be doing that about every 5 or so minutes so that you can use them in our quest that we'll be releasing in just a couple weeks. So let's see. This is my first ever solar eclipse. I am so amped. Yeah, that's amazing. Welcome to being here. Somebody else asked, are some people more prone to experiencing solar eclipses than others? That's a very good question. And no, not necessarily. So the reason we don't see these every single month, even though the moon orbits the Earth every month, is because it is around a different plane than the Earth orbits the sun. So the Earth orbits the sun in this plane here. The moon goes around the Earth in like a tilted plane. So it takes every once in a while for the moon to actually get in position to fully eclipse the sun in this way. And this is a phenomenon that we're losing because the moon is slowly but surely moving away from Earth. And eventually, in like a billion years or something, we will no longer have total solar eclipses because we will lose this fantastic coincidence of this cosmic dance where the sun is 400 times distant than the moon is from us, and it's also 400 times bigger. So as the moon moves further away from us, eventually in about a billion years, we will no longer be able to see the moon fully eclipse the sun in this way. So let's see what questions we might have. Let's see. Somebody else's first solar eclipse, somebody else. This reminds me of the 2017 Great American Eclipse when I was with the Slooh team in Idaho. Oh, awesome. Very awesome. Love hearing about that. So we traveled for the one in Idaho. Let's see. Potentially a naive question. None of them are naive. I promise you, Dan. Will all the observatory feeds be able to see totality? Yes. Great question. In about 10 minutes time, we're going to have totality. All of the feeds will be able to see totality because all of our partner feeds are set up in the path of totality. That was on purpose. So very good question. So any of the ones you're looking at, you'll be able to get a great image of totality. So coming up, Marciano will be back interviewing some of the eclipse watchers there as they gear up for totality in just 10 minutes time. And we'll be back after a short break. Bring back ABC News' Rob Marciano. Welcome back to the show. We are joined by ABC News viewers, and now we're going to go to ABC News' senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano, for a live report from Chile. Just a moment as Rob is getting ready in Chile for us to head back to him. But we are only about 9 minutes out from totality. We are getting very, very close. So if you're watching our partner feeds at La Sila, at Cerro Tololo, at the Catholic University of Chile, so they've set up a feed for us in the path of totality. They're actually our observatory partner. So if you notice, we have nighttime telescopes set up in Chile, partnered with the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, the PUC, as I've been calling it today. They are our observatory partner for our nighttime telescopes in Chile, and they have set up a wonderful live feed for us in the path of totality. And then, of course, we have OBSTech hosting set up for us at the Observatorio El Sauce. And I believe we are ready to go back to ABC's Rob Marciano for a live report.
In this valley and that have converged upon this part of Chile that, as you can imagine, getting a signal out, and if anywhere, is a challenge. Especially up this valley. Matter of fact, La Serena, which is just down the valley on the coastline, it's like the fourth largest city in Argentina, about 250,000 people or so in population. That has tripled today, just in the fact that we've had so many people come in. But I don't know if you can see around. I mean, it has noticeably gotten. See what I'm seeing nearly. Right now, we're looking at a crescent sun. So, I mean, we're just 8 minutes away from totality, and pretty soon we're going to get to the point where The temperature is going to continue to drop. It's getting, Scott Schulman, my cameraman, just put the light on because it's getting that much darker, opening up the aperture. And what you see here is likely going to be a lot more light than what we're actually seeing here, just so that you can see what's going on here. So we're getting to the point where we're about to see things like the diamond ring effect, when the very edge of the moon crosses, and the very last bit of light fires, and we see the valleys and mountains of the moon. It's going to be so cool. People are starting to launch drones. Folks are getting excited here. Just minutes away from totality here up the Elqui Valley in Chile for the 2019 eclipse. Back to you.
Welcome back. Thank you, Rob, for the update from your eclipse viewing party in Chile. We are just minutes away from totality here. So Rob Marciano is actually in the path of totality in Chile. They will be watching it live in person. We'll be watching it live remotely at Slooh.com with me. So if you are looking right now at this beautiful crescent sun from the Observatorio El Sauce in Chile, from our partners Obtech Hosting, we are so excited. We are just about under, I think, 5 minutes away from totality. So totality is at 20:39:24 UTC. We are just minutes away. We are watching. If you are on our website, you can see all of the different feeds. We'll leave like the best one up or so for watching all of totality, because we don't want to switch on you throughout totality. We want you to be able to really concentrate and get an amazing view of it. But you can switch through our feeds on our website, where you can take images and ask us questions. And so while we wait, let's answer a few of your questions, because we have a few minutes before totality. So someone asked, do we expect this one to be more dramatic than the 2017 total solar eclipse due to the distance of the moon and sun? And so that's a really good question. And one of the ways that we gauge like best totality sort of is the duration of it. So the one in 2017, the transcontinental total solar eclipse, that totality time was 2 minutes and 40 seconds long. So the path of totality changes every time we have a total solar eclipse, and so does the duration that it lasts for, the moment of totality. So that one in 2017 was 2 minutes and 40 seconds. This one is just under 2 minutes, so about 1 minute and 50 seconds or so. And then there's one coming up in, I think the one in 2024, in April of 2024, that crosses North America again, will be about 4 minutes in length for totality. So now that's how you can gauge what sort of like a dramatic totality is how long it is. So 4 minutes is, double what we're going to get to experience today. And don't let it fool you that you think 2 minutes is long. It's going to fly by, I promise. It is so breathtaking and incredible. So some things that you want to look out for when we see totality, you're going to see the corona of the sun. So that is the outermost layer of the sun. The sun's surface. So the sun has a bunch of different gaseous layers. There's the interior, there's a radiative zone, there's a convective zone. We have the photosphere and the chromosphere and the corona. And the corona is the last piece that you'll see as the moon fully eclipses the sun. So this is the surface sunlight coming right off and bending around the moon to reach our eyes on Earth. So another feature that you'll see, it's called the diamond ring. So this is the last or the first flash of light before or after the moon fully eclipses the sun. We'll also see Bailey's beads, which are just around the moon. The moon, well, that's not in quotes, it is the moon, but just around the moon's shadow. So we right now, remember, we are in the penumbral phase of this total solar eclipse, and we are about to enter the umbral phase, which is the path of totality. We are so, so close. Look at it right now. go over to slooh.com, snap your images. Now's the time to do it. We are just seconds away from totality. And we are so close to seeing the diamond and the Bailey's beads. I'll point them out to you as we see it. But we are just about to lose the sun. I'm already almost in tears. Sometimes we make fun of our chief astronomical officer, Paul Cox, because he always says that he cries at these. But don't judge me if I start to cry. This is so incredible to me. Think about where you are right now. And this is what we'll talk through as we watch totality. Look at the sun disappearing. Think about where you are. You are standing on Earth. Maybe you're outside watching this live. Maybe you're in your home watching this from your bedroom. But you are watching our moon, which dances around the Earth, a full phase every month. There we are. We are in totality. That's the diamond ring. This is our Observatorio El Salce in Chile from our partners at Obtech Hosting. Thank you for sharing this with us. You are looking at the diamond ring. So we have the moon orbits the Earth every 29-ish days. The Earth orbits the sun. And because of this cosmic coincidence that the sun is about 400 times bigger than the moon and also about 400 times more distant, we are graced with this beauty. This isn't something that you would necessarily see on any other planet that we inhabited. It would have to be the perfect cosmic dance that this is. And this isn't one that'll last forever. Surely it'll last through our lifetimes. But in the next billion years or so, we're going to lose this phenomenon because the moon is slowly moving away from the Earth, and we will lose this perfect coincidence. So you are seeing right now the corona, that big flash of light surrounding the moon. That is the corona of the sun peeking out from behind the eclipse. The eclipsed sun, we see the corona. We see the diamond ring showing up right out the bottom left corner. And then we'll start to see, as totality ends, we'll start to see the partial phase again. We'll start to see part of the sun coming back into view all the way back through until it's fully graced our daytime sky again. And we have coming up some really exciting things. We're going to hear about the human reaction to this. We're going to hear about the animal reaction to this. So animals, interestingly, and bugs react to it maybe even more drastically than humans. There you go. You can see the moon now moving its way across the sun again as we end totality. Be snapping your pictures over at slooh.com. We are leaving totality now. See how quickly that 2 minutes went? And we are starting to get the sun coming back again. So we are now out of totality. We are back out of the umbral shadow. We are back into the penumbral shadow. And we are seeing the moon move across the sun's surface in the other direction now. So hopefully you didn't take your water break during that, because this is the last time we'll see this for about another year and a half when this happens again in South America in December of 2020. Hopefully you've gotten some great shots of this. We're getting lots of reactions about the great view. And we will be bringing back on Rob Marciano in just a few minutes to tell us about how this went for them at their eclipse viewing party. Now, we're watching remotely, and so we're able to share in this awe and wonder from afar. But imagine being there with other people watching in person. And unfortunately, it's really hard to travel to these. So the last one in 2017 graced across North America, and some 10 million people were able to watch it live. This one is only covering a very small stretch of South America, so it doesn't hit that many people's front and backyards the way the one covered North America 2 years ago. But we are so grateful for all of our observatory feed partners that are down there setting this up for us. So a big shout out to Obtech Hosting at Observatorio El Salce, La Silla Observatory, the Aura Observatory in Cerro Tolelo, and then we also have our our observatory partner in Chile, the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile. Thank you for sharing your feeds with us so that we were able to watch this beautiful cosmic dance. Coming up after our last bit with Rob Marciano, we'll be bringing in a guest from the PUC, from our observatory partner. We will also be bringing in a guest from the Nashville Zoo to talk to us about how the animals react to an experience like this. They were in the path of totality for the 2017 transcontinental total solar eclipse. And then also we have a guest from Harvard University who is a seasoned eclipse chaser, having seen 15 total solar eclipses. So we are very excited to hear from them. Let's see. So we are just back in the penumbral phase now. We are in the partial phase of the total solar eclipse. So we are leaving, we are done totality. We are coming back into the partial phase. So we can pull up that diagram where we show the difference between the partial and the total phase. So I can explain just a little bit about how this works with the way that the sun and the moon align perfectly to cast the shadow on Earth. And then also, what is the difference between a lunar and a solar eclipse? So great. Thank you, studio. So we are looking, pretend you're at this specific point on Earth here, and the moon moves right in front of the sun in the perfect plane. And you can see the outer shadow that the moon casts is called the partial eclipse phase, or the penumbra. And then the more inner shadow, that darker gray color, is the umbra, the total eclipse shadow. And so this is where we say the path of totality, it's much more narrow. The path of totality for today only covered about a 90-mile wide stretch of South America and a tiny uninhabited island right off of the coast of South America. And then the rest of it was in the ocean, unfortunately. So unless you're watching from a boat, there was only a small portion of land where you were able to see this. And then we have another great graphic to show the difference between a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. So that's another question that I get a lot, is what is the difference and which one's being eclipsed in which? And so it's fun because you can kind of draw these out with the new emojis on your phone that are the sun, the moon, and the earth. I've totally done that before to help explain. But solar eclipse, we have the moon in between the earth and the sun. And a lunar eclipse, it's actually the earth that moves in between the moon and the sun. So that you can see the earth is eclipsing the moon in that case. And then there's a really funny one that goes around Twitter every time this happens from astronomer Katie Mack, who has the third one, which is if the sun was in between the earth and the moon, then apocalypse. So that would be a very interesting eclipse of some sort, and not one that we ever want to see happen. So coming up, we're going to bring back on Rob Marciano, senior meteorologist from ABC News, who is at an eclipse viewing party in Chile. And I imagine we're going to get some awesome human reactions that they've had there. We have our three guests coming up again at the top of the hour from our partner feed in Chile, from the Nashville Zoo, who was in the totality path for the 2017 total solar eclipse. And then also from Harvard University, our seasoned eclipse chaser. So keep your eye on our feeds on Slooh.com. Ask us questions there. And we will be happy to answer some questions that you have. And make sure you're snapping all of your pictures, as you'll need those for when our first quest launches in just a couple weeks, which will be referencing the South American total eclipse, so that you can create beautiful time lapses of this and show us exactly what you've seen and how you've experienced it. Also, if maybe you're at a remote viewing party, you don't have to be in person to be at an eclipse viewing party. You could be at a remote one. You know, maybe some of you have gotten together to watch this. Maybe your school is watching this together live. If you are, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're watching with. We are watching. We're paying attention. I will. Let me look at the chat box now, and we are actually headed back to our partners, the OBS-Tech hosting at the Observatorio El Salze. They're doing a replay of totality so that you can watch it. So let's go back to that feed, and I am going to look at our let's see our chat box and see who's here. Say hi. Let us know. Are you watching with your school? Oh, solar eclipses make me cry every time. Yes, me too. We also have, we're getting a replay now from the PUC, from our observatory partners at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, the PUC, are giving us a replay. Thank you. Let's see who else is saying hi, and if we have any questions. South Carolina? Let's see. We have a couple others watching from South America. I wonder how the weather was in Argentina. If you were in Argentina, let us know how the weather was for you. Were you able to see it? We'll also be sharing some of the best images captured from this on our website. So make sure that you share them with us so that we can share them with the world and show them what you've gotten if you are the next Dr. Mike Shaw, the next astrophotographer. And you can join, remember, his Nightscapes Club if you want any help on that. But make sure you share your moments of totality with us. We will break real quick now, and we'll be back in just a minute with Rob Marciano from ABC News. Welcome back to Slooh, where we just watched Totality, the total phase of today's total solar eclipse in South America. We are now going to be joined by ABC's Rob Marciano for a live report from Chile.
Back, you guys. We're back.
Remove that bottle and let her sit down.
Wow, that was just amazing.
Save that thought. Hold that thought.
Like I'm in dreamland right now.
This is not live, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. And you guys actually may be on my world news piece.
All right.
From what we said yesterday.
You guys are fine right there. Yeah. Just turn this way to look at.
Hi again, everybody. We are post-eclipse here, or at least the totality of it here at in the Elqui Valley. Behind us right now, the solar eclipse party taking pictures. You know, it's a celebratory moment here. For the folks that travel from all across the world, most of this group is from the States, and with Sky Telescope magazine. So everybody's smiling from ear to ear. Now, we've had enough Americans that got hooked. We have a number of Americans that have brought their children here. Akik, Barik, he saw the one in America 2017. How does this one compare?
Each eclipse has been different. The first one I saw was very spiritual, amazing, and this one also amazing, but very different than the first one. I mean, when I saw the corona for this one, it just really looked different than the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was right between the valley of Elqui.
Cool, huh?
It was really cool.
You brought your boys with you, your first time. What's your experience?
Second time. You hear all these stories about people reacting different ways. They're crying, they're jumping around. There are so many different reactions, and you're like, how can you see this actually happening? And how could someone actually have that reaction? But actually seeing this and actually seeing the solar eclipse occur, you can understand why people would react like this.
Not a raw emotion. Like, I almost feel like crying.
Right?
Yeah.
Dylan, did you cry? No, you didn't cry.
No.
But what did you feel?
But it was amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like this because each solar eclipse is different. The corona and everything, and then seeing Bailey's beads and the diamond ring effect was truly amazing.
I love the way you guys talk. All right, come on over here. Carolyn, right?
Yes.
Yes, Carolyn. We got a first timer, guys. First timer.
It won't be your last.
I'm surprised you're smiling so much. Come on, how awesome was it? Tell me what you're feeling.
It was pretty awesome. So few things in this world
live up to the hype.
Live up to the hype, and this absolutely lived up to the hype. It was pretty amazing.
What's your favorite part?
The light and the silence and sort of the reaction of being here with all these people, it was really special.
There was some hooting, there was some hollering. The birds seemed a little bit confused.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. The light, otherworldly. It lived up to the hype. It was very cool.
Did you look around? I mean, I saw a few stars. It got that dark where you could see some stars.
It did, absolutely. I counted 3, and 2 minutes seemed like it was going to last forever, and it was gone very quickly.
Pretty incredible. And so, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you going to the next one, or are you going to at least are you hooked?
I think I am.
Right?
Actually, yeah, I think I am.
Fantastic. So you live in Austin.
I do.
So you don't have to travel anywhere for the next one.
I don't. That's right. You can come.
There we go.
There you go.
Congratulations. So awesome. So psyched for you. And have a great trip in Chile the rest of your time here.
Thank you.
How about that? Ear to ear, right? That's how it goes. That's how it goes for your first time. Actually, that's how it goes for your second time. That's what I'm feeling right now. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you on the next one. Toss it back to Paige in the studio.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, Rob, and thank you, ABC News, for sharing this moment with us. This was so exciting. We were so fortunate to be able to feel like we were there live with you at your Eclipse viewing party in Chile. Many of us wish we were, but nonetheless, we saw a remarkable moment of totality remotely from our observatory partners that are stationed down in Chile right now. We have a replay for you of totality from the Observatorio El Sauce. Let's pull that up right now so you can watch as the moon fully eclipses the sun. We're seeing the very last crescent phase of the sun, and then the moon will fully eclipse it. We'll see the coronal layer of the sunlight, the diamond ring and Bailey's beads, and then we'll see the moon start to uncover the sun as the sun comes back. Now, if you were watching in the path of totality, what you would notice is not just the phenomena in front of your face as the moon covers the sun and you see this spectacular view, but you would also see the sky get dark. Birds start to chirp. Bugs start to chirp. Animals think it's nighttime and get ready for bed. Humans get quiet. So while the bugs are getting louder as if it were nighttime, humans start to get more quiet. And then the sky is dark. It's as if it were nighttime. I'll never forget my 2017 transcontinental total solar eclipse experience, my very first one. I was in the parking lot of a Panera in South Carolina. I won't lie, really great spot to watch it from. You have your coffee, you have your lunch. It was great. But we are now very fortunate due to our partners, OBSTech Hosting, to get to watch this replay. So hopefully you are enjoying this with us, and hopefully you got to snap some really spectacular images as we went through this together. So coming up, I'll tell you that in a second. Let's watch this together because we're getting really, really close to totality now. So this is a recap from just about 20 minutes ago when we went through totality. So we're seeing the very, very last of the sunrise, and there's the flash, and now we are in totality. So that flash, if anybody's wondering, is because we have to change the filters really quick. So the observatory sites, they have to basically they have a solar filter on so that they can see the sunlight and then through the sunlight, because otherwise it would break the cameras and the lenses, and then they flash through take off the filter real quick, so that's because you don't need it when you're in totality. In the same way that Dr. Mike Shaw and I were saying, you can take off your glasses, your special eclipse viewing glasses, and you can use your cameras at the moment of totality. Well, we have to do that with the observatory and telescopes. So this is the moment of totality. So you get to see the coronal layer of the sun, which is the outermost layer of the sun's ball of gas, the diamond ring where it's the last flash of light right before the moon covers the sun. And then also you'll see it again when it comes off the other side. It's called the diamond ring because you can sort of see it here, like the head, this little flash of light. And then you can also around the edge of the sun, it's called Bailey's beads. So like little mini diamonds. There's the diamond ring right there. That is the last flash of light or the first flash of light as the moon starts to move off of the sun's surface, the diamond ring. And then Bailey's beads are like little diamonds that show up around the edge of the moon eclipse of the sun. So remember, at Slooh.com, be snapping your photos. We are going to be with you for the next hour as we exit totality. We are back in the partial phase, and we will be bringing on very special guests. So in just a couple minutes, we have Dr. Thomas Putzia at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, the PUC, where we have our Chile nighttime telescopes. And then we will also be bringing on Jim Bartu from the Nashville Zoo, and Owen Gingerich at the Harvard University, who is a seasoned eclipse chaser. So we will go to a quick break right now, and then we'll be back in just a minute with our first guest, Dr. Putzia from the PUC.